Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar. My name is Pete Stolzers. I'm the founder of One Option. For recording purposes, I'd like to state that it is January 7th, Wednesday evening. We've had a very exciting start to the year. And for those of you who would be watching this recording, I urge you to go back and take a look at the picks that we highlight tonight. You'll have the benefit of hindsight. You can go back and take a look at how the trades have fared. I think you're going to be really impressed, and I also think you'll want to sign up for some of the different symbol groups that we offer or for the entire package. I like to start every year off with my deal of the year. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes describing it, and then we're going to get into the advantages of having it, and then we're going to find some trades. So here is the deal of the year. On the One Option website, click on 3,000 symbols, go to the yearly subscription. You'll see that it is $3,500 per year. I'm going to be reducing this to $2,500 as soon as tonight's presentation concludes. So when we all log off, I'm going to change the price down to $2,500. This will be the lowest price you'll ever see. It'll be the lowest price that you'll see this year for sure. So that's $1,000 savings. I'll probably keep that price up until Sunday. After Sunday, I'll start ratcheting it up by about $100, and the final will be $2,700, and any latecomers can sign up at that price, but that'll be it. I do this once a year, and I do not break it into monthly installments. It's a one lump payment. So for those of you willing to take a risk for the entire year, there's a substantial discount. And I've got to tell you, I've got so many things planned for this year. It's going to be very, very exciting. This annual price will be going up throughout the course of the year, and you'll see why shortly. So I hope to have you on board for this annual subscription. You'll also notice that there are a number of other symbol groups available. We'll be taking a look at those tonight. These are not on a special offer or promotion. It's just this annual subscription. Each of these have done very well. Don't have any promotions in mind yet, but it will be at least February before I think about those. So let's go in and take a look at what the market is currently telling us. I like to start my webinars with a little bit of market analysis. I've got so much information to go through that I've got to keep this brief. So we have this deep trough here. We take out the 100-day moving average easily. For the first time in 2 years, we take out the 200-day moving average. Kind of a concerning sign. First time in 2 years. So the market snaps back, rallies up, hits a resistance point. Which, by the way, we caught this short beautifully. We caught this bounce in here as well, and now we're catching that sell-off again. We get a 100-day moving average breach and a sharp snapback rally. We get back up to the highs, and during both of these periods, the market stalled out. And I've been telling you, listen, folks, there's nothing going on. There's a low volume rally, low volume rally, okay? Low volume rally in here. Let's get the heck out of the way. And that was great advice because the market did end up rolling over. One thing that does concern me is that we've tested this 100-day moving average very quickly. So only a few weeks have passed and we're right back down on it again. So this resistance seems to be pretty formidable. I do feel that now that we tested it yesterday, we had a nice reversal off the low. We had a gap higher today. We have a number of bullish events on the calendar. We have ECB talk tomorrow. That'll probably be dovish. We've got the unemployment report Friday. The ADP report was good today. Friday's unemployment report should be good. Market has had a tendency to rally into the unemployment report. We have earnings season starting next week. think earnings will be pretty good outside of some of the cyclical stocks and energy. So earnings season tends to be a bullish factor for the market. And we also have option expiration, which during the last 4 months has been bullish. The week of option expiration has been bullish. So we got a number of factors that should push us back up towards the highs. So right now I'm focused on bullish trades. I'm selling out of the money put credit spreads currently, and I'm going to use this 100-day moving average as my stop because I don't want to see us go back down and test it. If we do, it wouldn't be a very good sign. It would be short-term bearish, and then we probably would at very least go down to the 200-day moving average, penetrate it, and come back. But that would be a little toppy, and it would certainly warrant caution throughout the rest of the year. I'm going to zoom out, and there you can see a little bit longer term view of what's been taking place. You can also see all the buy and sell signals that we've had on the SPY. Caught a beautiful long in there, beautiful long in there. Very nice short to start the year off. You're starting to see some pretty choppy price movement in here, and I'm going to zoom out and use a weekly chart. If we look at the weekly chart, that doesn't look so bad because we've got a nice upward sloping channel, but you can start to notice a little bit of volatility in here, okay? So price pattern has been a little bit tighter in here over the course of the last year and a half, and now we're starting to move around a little bit, which tells me there's just a little bit more two-sided action, a little bit more uncertainty. That is going to bode well for 2015. I think we're going to have a lot more volatility this year. That means there's going to be opportunities on both sides of the market. So for right now, I feel that we're going to find a nice support level here. We'll float back up to the highs of the year. We might even poke through if earnings season is exceptional. And then we'll see where we go from there. We do have a few headwinds. We've got China's economy starting to slow down. We have Europe probably heading into another recession. We'll see how Greece plays out. It seems like the EU is pretty willing to kick them out. We might have some credit concerns with Brazil, possibly Russia later in the year as oil prices stay low. So the market climbs a wall of worry. Central banks will come to the rescue. They'll print money. They've been more and more, they're losing their punch. So quantitative easing is not as effective as it used to be. And so everything I've just explained to you is balanced. There are a lot of positives. We have our share of negatives as well. And so the trading system will get us long and it'll get us short. This week, those of you who are on the US index system, we got short SPY, QQQ, DIA last Friday morning. That was an absolutely beautiful trade. Through the platform yesterday, one of the advantages of having the platform is that you get to read my market comments every day before the open. And I've been describing exactly how I'm playing this market move to all of you, play by play. And on Monday, I got short when the SPY broke 204, day traded the E-minis. I used 202 as my target. When we fell below it and rallied back above it, I stopped out. Yesterday in my comments, I mentioned that I was entering my shorts if the SPY got below 202, which it did. I also said my target is 200. If we fall below it and come back above it, I'm stopped out. So that was 40 S&P points that we clipped out of the market in the last 2 days. And for those of you who trade E-minis, that's $2,000 on a one lot. Your margin for that, $3,000. That is an awesome way to start the year. So we'll see what happens. We had a nice little bounce today. I can't say that it was gangbusters off to the races, but I'm expecting to see some stability in here. And for those of you that are on those index systems and trading puts, I'd mentioned that when we get back above that SPY 200 level, take your profits. Option implied volatilities are high. And in fact, back on this sell-off right here in the platform, there are bulletins that are posted throughout the day. You can't help but see them because they overlay over everything. I'd mentioned back in here, we're going to see a 50-point S&P decline. And the market opened a little weak, and then sure enough, we were down 62 points. And I had said, if we see that, take profits on your put positions. If you'd have done that, you would have been really making a lot of money because sure enough, the market bounced. And that was probably about a 9-point move, at least an 8-point move from that level. So you could have done much better than the system did, but it did get us long. That proved to be a fantastic trade. We get short for a couple days and then catch the rest of that move. So if you're leveraging SPY with call options, I know this trade right here was a triple. If you bought at the money next month out call options, this market just kept going up. Again, right in here, I mentioned that we're starting to stall out. We've lost the momentum. Take profits on this position. And that was ahead of this little decline in here. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as a subscriber, I'm going to talk 3,000 symbol subscription tonight because it's all encompassing. It includes the platform, it includes the scanner, it includes access to every single stock symbol, every alert. If you use the system and you follow my market comments and you use them as a guideline, you're going to do much better than the performance that you see. And this is, by the way, our gain, and here's how a buy and hold strategy has fared. So please keep that in mind. And also know that as you look at some of these stocks, you're going to see some opportunities to do a little bit of risk management and position management yourself that, again, will trounce our numbers. The entry signals for the system are incredibly good. Okay, but there's still room for improvement, and that's where you come into play. So we're going to be taking a look at an awful lot of symbols tonight. I'm going to be showing you the trading platform. So let's start off. I really have to cut to the quick tonight because I've got so much that I want to show you with regards to the platform. I also want to show you a few things that I'm working on for 2015. But subscribers can come in and use the scanner. So you click on the scanner tab, and then you can go right down the list and take a look at, and this is available to everyone who uses the platform, these first two searches here, the M's. And you can see gainers, gap up, 5-day high. You click on the symbol and you can go in and take a look at what the stock is doing very quickly. Buffalo Wild Wings is one of the stocks I'm going to highlight tonight. So I'm going to just get right into it. And I'll also put up the arrows so that you can see the buy and sell signals. Look at that buy on Buffalo Wild Wings. We had a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and the stock had come up. It was in this consolidation phase right here, and it was a featured trade. And we went right at it here. I think the 165 strike. I said, look, this stock is poking through right here. 165, I see horizontal support. I'm going to sell the 165, 160 put credit spread. I think we're looking at picking up about $1.25 on it. If you attended the webinar and you took that trade, you made some excellent money. And I said, I think the stock's going to run higher, but I was a little iffy heading into year end because I was seeing the market stall out. So I wasn't in go, let's buy some call mode. I was in, let's be prudent here. Let's look at taking advantage of time decay in a quiet market. I like this trade again, and I like Buffalo Wild Wings because today it broke through horizontal resistance and it's been in a strong uptrend. You'll also notice one other thing is during the mini bloodbath so far this year, stocks held up pretty well. So I'm going to go through and show you a few of the features that are available in the platform, and then we'll get back to the scanner and look for a couple of other trades. So let's say that I narrow down to Buffalo Wild Wings, like it, want to trade it. You can see that there's a technical expert rating. There are probably about 35 variables that I use for this technical rating, and they're weighted. There's a liquidity rating. I'll show you how we arrive at that. This is for option liquidity. So when you're flipping charts, you can very quickly look up at the gauge and go, nah, not really good option liquidity. Anything above a -2 would be acceptable to a +2. You'll be able to get a 10 lot off pretty easily, and you might have to work the bid ask a little bit. When you start getting above 2, like 2 to 6, excellent liquidity. Anything above 6 is going to be absolutely dynamite. You'll be able to get in and out of options with ease. And then there's also a fundamental rating. This also has about 30 different variables, and I'll show you where that calculation comes from. So let's go through and take a look at some of the other features. Buffalo Wild Wings, you can see how the earnings per share have come in sequentially, quarter over quarter. You can see the consensus earnings estimate change quarter over quarter. So recently you've been looking for a little bit of a dip, and they've gotten one. I believe higher chicken prices were one of the reasons, but same store sales have been very good. You can see the beat and miss history. How has the stock performed into earnings season? A week before, 2 weeks before, how is it done after earnings season? Okay, this is all earnings per earnings laid out for you. This is a really nice feature for day traders. A lot of times they'll see a stock gapping down or opening unchanged that I've wanted to trade. What does it typically do after earnings? And so you might notice that, when Buffalo Wild Wings, this chart is a 5-minute chart, and it shows how the stock has reacted the day after earnings. So if earnings were announced last night or before the open today, it would show today's chart. So this is all archived. I'm the only one I think that has this, but it's been very useful to me when I'm day trading, especially during earnings season. So you can see how the stock gaps, and it tends to follow through here. Gapped higher, tend to follow through here. Not as prominent as other stocks, but you're going to find stocks that really have distinct patterns. So in this case, the stock gaps up, but it really doesn't go anywhere. But it doesn't retrace either. Growth, you can see the revenue percent change growth year over year. So you can see Buffalo Wild Wings has been at a 20% revenue growth pace, which is fantastic. Another reason that I like it. Another reason I like it is because I believe consumers are going to have more money to spend right now. So retail and restaurant, I like them both. I think that some of those gas savings they will spend dining out and shopping. You can see earnings percent change year over year, very healthy cash flow, analyst ratings. Everything looks good. Stock expert rating, there's the name of the company. You can see all the industry and sector information here. These are the technical ratings, and you can see where the strength is coming from. Very good momentum, good group strength, good sector strength, trend strength, revenue growth. So valuation getting a little bit pricey at a trailing PE of 36. So that's the only knock on it fundamentally, but overall very solid. And you can even go in and click on that little link and get the last earnings report. See what the CEO has to say, get the macro conditions. I just clicked on the next tab after the stock expert rating. This is my market view page. These are all based on the ETFs. So most people don't have futures accounts. So there's a multiplier, and this may not mirror exactly what the market's doing, but it's just meant to give you a ballpark. These are all based on the most widely traded ETFs for these countries too. It's just to give you an idea where the global strength or weakness is coming from. My market comments, here's my suggested strategy going into the day, my forecast for a day or 2 or 3 if I can forecast out that far, and then my 1 week forecast where I'm trying to paint a little bit of a longer term perspective for you. This is gold right here. This alone is worth having the platform. My market comments are spot on. I'm good at this. I've been doing it for an awful long time. Any of you that have been with me for a while, you know that you can really rely on my analysis. I spend a couple of hours each morning just getting my comments together and doing my research. You can see which groups or sectors have performed well, and you can click on the column header. You can even drill down. Let's say that you're looking for the best performing sector. Oh, it's utilities. You can drill down to the group. You can get all the stocks within the group. If you click on the chart, you're going to be able to go down this list and check out each one of these symbols individually. That's what would typically be called a top-down approach. So you have that available to you as well. This Q3 column here is, and it's going to zero out on the 12th of January because that's when Alcoa is going to announce. And what you'll see is which groups and sectors, how has the stock performed the day of the earnings release? Has it been a positive influence? Has it rallied or has it sold off? So very quickly you'll be able to go in and see which groups and which sectors are performing well right out of the gate during earnings season. And then you can drill down and take a look at the individual stocks, click on them, and then you'll be able to see what each one of, see there haven't been any earnings and it's already preparing. So I believe it's already zeroed out, getting ready for, here we go. Just taking a while to load. So you can see when the earnings were before or after and what the reaction was. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can see, let's say that you saw a really strong earnings report on October 30th, you'll be able to look at which stocks are announcing next, and you might be able to prepare yourself and take a position in the stock if you like trading earnings. Personally, I don't trade earnings, and the system doesn't trade earnings. We want to be out. We don't want that risk. Earnings calendar right here. These are all the upcoming events. Just scroll down and you'll be able to see all the major economic news that's coming up. One thing that I do plan on having this year, I plan on adding an earnings calendar to one of these tabs so that you can see which companies are announcing in the next day or two. I do have a way that for you to see that. We're on Buffalo Wild Wings, and we're going to take a look for a trade because we want to trade a put credit spread, especially if we can get in at a decent price. We'll take a look at the option pricing in a second here. This is a study called Max Pain. It gives you an idea of the option open interest distribution. And there's a theory that the maximum number of options expire at expiration. If that were to hold true, at what price would option buyers of both puts and calls, at what price at expiration would they take the most pain? Hence the name, Max Pain. So the stock does have a tendency, if it's close during expiration week, to drift down to this number, but we're currently much above it, so I don't think it'll be a factor right now. But you can go in month by month and see what that max pain level is. You can also go in and take a look at changes in open interest. I'm going to go back to January. We'll see if there's anything interesting in the January call options. You can see that there's been a recent spike in the 180 price level right here. So you can do the same with puts, and that'll give you an idea. 700 puts, so not a huge amount, but we've seen a little bit of put buying here recently in Buffalo Wild Wings. Option pricing. This is what we really want to take a look at because we want to see if we can get some decent premium for these options. And if you scroll down, this is all end of day data, by the way. Strike price down the middle, and the yellow will tell you when you're at the money. And so we'll take a look at the 180 puts, and as I click on it, you'll see the orange color here is the option implied volatility. So you can see what it's been doing. And then the blue is the stock volatility. And the 180s are $1.30 bid, pretty wide bid ask, 40-cent bid ask there, 25-cent bid ask there. If you can take a look at the stock again, it's at 185. Your breakout is at 183.72. We're down here at 180, which the stock gapped above today. We've got a week and a half left till expiration. I would do that trade. I would sell the 180, 175 put spread, and I would keep a fairly tight stop on it. My stop is right here because what I really want to do right now is I want this stock, now that it's broken through, I want to see it follow through. Typically, these breakouts are going to continue to push higher. As it does so, those options will vaporize over the course of the next few days. Even if it holds the breakout and it just kind of stalls out, you still be in good shape. So it's got a very tight stop level on it. Go back to our option pricing, and I'd need to try and get somewhere around 85 cents for this. So we would be selling the 180 puts, we'd be buying the 175 puts, be doing it for an 85-cent credit. I'd like to see just a tiny pullback, and you'd have to work something between the bid ask, but I think that's a nice trade if you can get that off. Like I say, we're in the front month right now, so every day is going to make a big difference. If you can't get that done, I'll take a look at one other thing, but I want to get to this final option stats page. Put call ratio today. Change in call open interest, change in put open interest. So you can see the option price movements, the volume, overall put call ratios, implied volatility changes. Over on the right here, you'll also see that there are ratings that I use. Does it have weekly options? Well, then it gets credit for that. Penny wide market, it would get a credit for that. Bid ask spread, and there's a whole metric that I use to measure this. It gets bonus points if it scores well. Ultimately, when I add all of these factors up, I come up with my option liquidity rating. And for Buffalo Wild Wings, it's a -2. Just gives you an idea at a glance whether or not these options are liquid enough for you to consider to trade. And I told you I'd look at one other thing. Let's look at February and see what the options might be going for in February. They're pretty expensive and they're pretty wide. So Buffalo Wild Wings, 880 bid offered at 1030. I usually like to go in the money. The only way I can see playing Buffalo Wild Wings is to sell a put credit spread and try to stay in January expiration that expires next week. Those are all features that are included in the platform. Studies anything you want. I mean, there are a ton of studies that are included. The chart speed just allows you to select what you want loaded with the page so that as you're flipping through stocks, if it's taking a while and loading all of these pages behind it, you can speed it up by unmarking them. All sorts of charting tools in terms of patterns, and then you've got lots of, these are automated trend lines that are drawn, volume moving average. If you want to put a moving average up, it's toggle on, toggle off, very easy. Fibonacci, all the Fibonaccis you possibly want. So those are all included. We're going to go back to the scanner, and I'm going to take a look at, right now, I just want to look at bullish trades because I'm bullish. I think the market's going to find support over the next few days, and typically during these webinars, I would spend the majority of the time telling you exactly what I'm looking for. I don't have the time tonight because I've got so much else that I want to cover. So I'm going to cut to the quick, and we're going to take a look at continuations. So these are proprietary searches that platform subscribers do not have access to unless they have a scanner subscription. However, if you have the 3000 symbol subscription, this is included. These are really powerful searches. I'm looking for long-term trends, looking for short-term momentum, and the momentum comes in the form of breakouts, gaps, what I call green lines, and days, consecutive days moving in an up or down direction. So those are the tail end price movements that I'm looking for. And reversal would be a stock that has fallen and is now starting to run back up, versus a continuation, which this would be a continuation where it's just plotting a course higher and higher and higher. Well, right now, this is what I would prefer to focus on. I want to see a stock that has held up well during the recent market decline and is now breaking out. I could go through all of these, but some of them, frankly, they don't have good options liquidity. Um, Really nice breakout, great entry there. But that train has left the station. I love everything about this except that it's way above. So you had to get in here, and if you're a day trader and you come in and you use the scanner, this little checkbox here is for 3000 symbol subscribers. So not only do these stocks conform to the search criteria, they also have to be on a buy signal. So it's two powerful forces combined in one. But yes, if you were to come in on this day, see the breakout, which it certainly would have come up on this search because it's making a new 10-day high, you'd have been all over it. Dix had a big day today. Nice entry, just gone. Here's one that I found that I like. Doesn't have good option liquidity. If you don't mind trading stock, this was an excellent trade in here as soon as it broke through this resistance level. It's Papa John's. They do great into year-end. Football season is the Super Bowl is when they sell the most pizzas. And you know, if you watch football, they've been advertising like mad. Buffalo Wild Wings, similar story. Hockey, basketball, football, really good time of the year to own that stock. I'm going to continue to look down. Target, I like. Earnings here, a B would mean before the open, and A would mean after the close, but this is when earnings have been announced. So you can see how the stock rallied up, consolidated, but was able to hold up pretty well, and now we're poking out to a new relative high. I like buying target calls. Okay, so this is trade number 2. Option liquidity, excellent. I would tend to go in the money, something like the February 75 call. We'll do it real quick. Sorry, we want to go normal expiration. 320 bid offered at 330. I think this is an excellent trade. I think the stock will continue to do well. And looking down, ZMH, that's a nice little breakout. Not very good option liquidity, but I do like the breakout. A little choppy in here too. I'd rather see something tighter. Lulu, I have personally been trading. Lululemon, we had a nice buy signal here. When we broke out here, I bought some calls. That's turned out to be a great trade, but it's away from us now. Walmart, there's another really good looking trade, and this one's just getting going. Okay, there's your breakout, there's our buy signal, and now the stock's starting to push higher. So that's it as far as the stocks that I'm going to show you off the scanner tonight. All I can tell you is that one thing I do want to mention about the scanner is I'm going to be adding a new category in here Probably in about 3 or 4 weeks. I've got the coding done for it, but my focus right now is on my new website. As soon as I get that completed, I'm going to be adding a tab here for candlesticks. So these will be patterns like dojis, engulfing patterns, hammer, inverted hammer, the really important candlestick formations. So you'll be able to see the formation and whether or not it'll only show if it has a confirming buy or sell signal. The platform is really good at picking moves during these inversions. And so if you get some of these formations and it's confirmed by a buy signal, it's going to be extremely powerful. Throughout the course of the year, I'm also going to be adding a number of scans like low price stocks. I'll show you a few in a second here, but system's done very, very well on low price stocks. I look at them. I don't always trade them, but I know many of you, that's all you like to trade. I'll have searches for day traders. I'll have some searches for option traders, have some searches for swing traders, and I'll have some searches for investors. And the one thing that I would urge all of you to consider, it's a really different way of thinking about investing. It's to focus in on volatile stocks like Netflix, not to avoid them, but to actually focus in on them and to have a portfolio of these stocks that move well and trade well with the system. Maybe it's 10 or 15 different stocks. What you'll find throughout the course of the year is that when you hone in on these lists, you'll be able to have longs for some stocks, shorts for other stocks, and overall your market risk will be reduced and you'll be able to make money on your longs and on your shorts. And you can automate that using the system. Now, the beauty of it is that regardless of what the market's doing, you don't even care. You turn on the screen in the morning, you go, oh, the S&Ps are down 20 points. Oh, who cares? My shorts are probably doing great. Turn it on the next day and the market's up 30 points. Oh, great. Who cares? You know, my longs are probably doing great. So you're going to find that the system's very good at getting on the right side of these trades. So I'm going to show you some of the different systems that are also available. These are just symbol groups. When you have access to 3,000 symbols, you can go in and create your own list. You click create, select your symbols, name it, save it, and then the next time you bring this up, you'll see it listed. So for instance, the Dow is one that is available to everyone. And you can see exactly which stocks we're long or short. You can see we're short a lot of them. You can see we're making great money on them. The blue signifies stocks that we have exited today. You can expand this window and see the entry time and entry price and exit time. You can collapse it by clicking that little box, and you can see what the P&L is. You can text entry and exit, so all that's available here. There's a little tool here where you can play, and it will go through each one of these, and it will show you the chart. So I'll just do it very briefly. Actually, I'll start with Home Depot. You can see, it makes it very easy to view charts. And then when you see something you like, you can pause it. So once you create a list, you can, and if you are a Interactive Brokers customer, we have an interface. You'll be able to pull real-time quotes into the platform. I'm going to go to Auto Trading Systems, and you'll see it listed in the Auto Trading System. So if I wanted to trade the Dow stocks and I wanted to trade the stock itself, and select what price I want. Maybe I want to do a dollar allocation at 10,000 per trade. Exit, put it on auto. I don't want to see the trade, just do it. Click on, and that baby is live. So if you want to automate your portfolio management, take you 2 minutes a day. You come in, you log into Interactive Brokers, log into this platform, interface, Make sure that these settings will stay the same unless you change them. You're good to go. In fact, the platform will say, do you want to automate your systems? You want to trade options? No problem. Want to trade front month, back month, way back, put it in. You want in the money, at the money, out of the money, market order, buy bid, sell ask, quantity, you can do it all. So all of this can be automated. The trades come through 1 hour after the open. So this is what the Dow has done. And I'm going to start asking you to think about the symbols that you'd like me to look at, your symbols. And you can type them in. You don't have to hurry. But I'm going to show you what our pre-configured symbol groups have done. So, got questions all the time. Pete, how does the system do for futures and commodities? It does great. Silver, we have as one of the commodities. You can see the relative performance here. TLT, the bonds. Look at this performance. We get long here. Fantastic trade. These are liquid options, tight bid-ask spread. That's at least a double if you're buying call options. We get short there for 2 days and get right out. See, I take a little bit of a hit there, but look at that long. Beautiful. Get short right up here. Cover that short and go long in here. Chop around a little bit, but ultimately that long ends up being just killer good. That is from 120 to 132. That's got to be a 400% gain if you're trading at the money front month options. Because TLT doesn't have a lot of option implied volatility. It didn't, but now it probably, those options are probably starting to pick up a lot of volatility because it's gone up so much. So USO, oil, beautiful short. Look at that short that it caught in there. So it does great for commodities. I'll go into ETF Trader. Actually, let me take a look at US Index because that's got all of the major indices. It does have IWM. We've been on the sidelines for IWM. But SPY we looked at earlier, great short in there. Diamond, the Dow, you can see we're outperforming by a big margin. Nice short, great long, fantastic long in there. We get caught on a short here, but we're right back on a nice long, beautiful short in here. Very, very liquid options. QQQ, vastly outperforming. And again, you don't have to put $100 to trade the stock in on these options. If you're buying QQQ options, you're a couple months out time-wise and trading at the monies. Those are $3 options. So you can take a $100 instrument and put $3 up. These options trade in penny increments. I know personally that was about a 300% winner right there, which I also told subscribers, get out in my comments. And you don't mess around with a run like that once the rally starts to lose its steam. So it's done great on indices. Well, how's it done on the international ETFs? Fantastic. Really nice short in there. This is Korea. These tend to be liquid as far as the ETF, but I don't know that I would trade options on it because I think the options are not that liquid. So you can go through and click through all these, or you can do it yourself. You can actually see all this performance on the website. So it's done great on the ETFs. Let's take a look at some of the different stocks. And these are just symbols, mind you, same system for everything, but the underlyings are different. So here you've got LinkedIn. We've got a nice short on that right now. Tesla, Got a nice short there. As far as trades, if you're looking for bearish trades, here's one that I like, but I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would buy puts on Tesla, but I would consider selling a call spread right there. If I were looking for bearish trades, mind you, I am not looking for bearish trades. If I were looking for them, I would consider selling a call spread, maybe the 225, 230 call spread. The reason is because we saw a nice drop here, market bounced, stock did not. Relatively weak. Netflix has just been incredibly good. I mean, the system's just been all over it. Got a nice little short in here. So you can see that even though the market rallied big today, we're still making money on our shorts. GoPro, very nice short up in here. I do like this short as well, and I would probably sell a call spread 70.75. Okay, stock was not able to rally today even with a strong market, so I would be looking to January doing a 70.75 call credit spread. Again, I'm bullish, so I do not want to be taking bearish trades, but if I wanted to do a trade that was neutral to slightly bearish, that's what I would consider doing. IBM also looks weak down through this horizontal support level. Was not able to bounce with the market. Apple actually looks pretty good, and that's going to be another trade that I highlight. I like to give you at least 3 or 4 trades throughout the course of the presentation, and something that you can sink your teeth into the next day. Apple is a stock that's starting to rebound, and right now the platform is slow responding because I'm running the recording device. There you can see we're on a buy signal. Beautiful sell signal in here, by the way, which Apple options trade with very, very little implied volatility, meaning they are cheap to buy. You want to buy cheap options, and these will move very, very quickly. I like buying Apple calls. There's another trade for you. Beautiful support at 106. That's your stop out point, by the way. You get down to 105 on this stock, close it out. And the stock closed probably 107, almost 108. You can, I'd probably go with a February 110 call. You can go a little bit out of the money, figuring that this stock has room to run up to maybe 113, 114 before it runs out of steam. And look at that, right on that 100-day moving average. Okay, so there's another trade for you. I like Apple with a tight stop right there on that horizontal support and that 100-day moving average. You can see everything I've clicked on so far, every one of our symbol groups, we are making money. We did US index. I think I did high IV. No, I didn't do high IV. Here's another trade. Zillow. Man, this is one that you want to have in your portfolio. We're up 108% versus 26% for buy and hold. Incidentally, in our database of over 3,000 stocks, about 3,500 stocks, this system has beat buy and hold for 85% of those stocks and ETFs by an average margin of 35%. That's substantial, especially when you consider that the market has been going up. That's our toughest comp. When the market starts to get volatile, flatline, and oh man, when it starts to sell off, we will absolutely trounce buy and hold. We've recently added stops and a new entry rule that allows us to get in an hour after the open, so we're evaluating the price movement as an added feature in 2015 only for subscribers to 3,000 symbols. I will be re-releasing the pre-opening signals, what I call a raw signal. Very, very helpful for day traders, those of you who are New to one option, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but we only provide these signals an hour after the open, but when I bring the old symbol signals back, they'll be released 3-4 hours before the open. So you can plan it out. And sometimes the stocks don't always move in our direction, and it was more prudent for us to wait the first hour before we enter the signal. But sometimes they are just so killer good, like this one right here. I look at that and go, wouldn't you like to buy that here? Well, if you're a day trader, you want to have your lists ready, especially if they conform to some candlestick patterns. So I am bringing that back. Huge advantage to having access to everything. Zillow. System's done really well with it. Horizontal support right there at $100. Okay, we poked down through it twice. That ended up being a nice buy right in there. We poked down through it again, and now we've got a buy signal on it. I like selling the 195 put credit spread on Zillow. Let's take a quick look because that's going to be another trade I want you to consider. January, next week expiration. You've got the 100s bid at 235 and you've got the 95s at 115. You could get a nice chunk of change for that. You should be able to get this done around 250 and you buy those for maybe 110. You're in at $1.40 credit. Okay. And I'm going to click on that. And you can see option implied volatility of 0.5, that's 50, fairly rich. That's why this stock is in a symbol group called high IV, high option implied volatility. Ideal for selling out of the money put spreads and out of the money call spreads. And you can see we're doing great. We just took great profits on that Zillow short, by the way. That was awesome. And let me see if I can find the other symbol group here, and then I'm going to take your requests, and we're going to look and see how your stocks have done. Missing one of my symbol groups here, but no matter. Doesn't matter. We're going to continue to move on, and I'm going to take a look at your stocks. I don't want you to think I'm cherry picking here. Ooh, I saw somebody put in a stock I've been following. Dave. Of course, you'd come up with blue. Let's take a look at that. So, Amazon. Amazon system said, let's go long, stop the trade out. That was actually a helpful stop for us. We've still done very well on Amazon so far. So it wants to get bullish. I can't say that I would take that until I see it get above this level. That's just me personally. I would rather be on the right side of a signal where it's giving something down in here. Let me make a point to you. Okay, you look at this performance and you go, wow, that's pretty impressive. Up 33% versus minus 25% for buy and hold. Look what a little position management could do for you. System goes, buy Amazon. So you come in and get long. Let's say you buy calls. Okay, great. You see a move like that, get the heck out. What is that, a 35-point move, and you get a big down day? Take your profits. If you sold a put credit spread down in here, same thing. By the time the stock's up here, these are going to be worthless. Reel them back in. Okay, so just a little common sense. My God, you've got to run like that, and then the stock pulls all the way back down. I intentionally don't have target profits and ratcheting up this, and the more complicated I make the system, the less likely it is to work long term. Okay, so I'm relying on you to do a little bit in terms of position management. I mean, when you have a winner that's running, it's easy to manage. Start scaling out up in here when you start hitting a snag and things get a little bit choppy, and by all means you get a big down day like that, get the heck out of the way. Take your profits and you will trounce our numbers. So there's plenty of meat left on that bone. Uh, Amazon. Let's see, Celgene. Jason, should Amazon stay on my list? It looks choppy. Sure. As long as I can sell out of the money put credit spreads on these signals reliably, it can chop around all it wants. Yes, it has been volatile, and I don't like to buy calls on stocks that are choppy like that. But yeah, I like it. I keep Amazon on as long as it keeps performing. So Celgene, any of the biotechs, I'll tell you right now, system has not performed well with the biotechs. They tend to be too newsy, very, very, very choppy. So Celgene, we're down 7% versus 34% for buy and hold. There is a buy signal right now on the stock. ABC, AmerisourceBergen, very nice looking chart. We've underperformed slightly because of big earnings gaps like that. We don't participate in that because we get out ahead of the earnings number. If we had, we'd be keeping pace with buy and hold. So when you do see us underperform, that's usually the reason. Nice buy signal in there, and it's still on that buy signal. If I were trading it, given that it's consolidated recently, I would not be getting long until it gets above that 92.50 level, closes above it. Then I'd be all over it. But until then, it could keep chopping around for 3 or 4 weeks, all the while I'm losing time premium. TLT I looked at, AutoNation, AAN I believe, AN maybe. Yes, AN. AutoNation not doing a lot, kind of chopping around currently on a sell signal. Looking a little toppy in here, was able to break out and not hold it. That's what I call a failed breakout. Usually pretty bearish sign. People pile in here on the breakout to a new 52-week high. When the stock pulls back and starts to slip, everybody that bought in here is starting to wonder if they got in on the wrong side of the trade. They bail out. Stock has a tendency to fall further. BLUE. We were looking at that back in here. Dave, Dave, I'm sure, I don't know if you bought any the night we did it on the webinar. I was going through and I saw this candle right here and a breakthrough there. And I said, you know, I don't know who this company is or what they do, but just from a trading standpoint, I like the fact that we got a buy signal and now it's breaking through horizontal resistance. Whoosh! I do actually like it up in here, but you'd have to trade the stock because the option liquidity is very poor. So I like that breakout at 94.22. I would get long in here. You can notice another nice thing. Stock did not pull back during the market sell-off. It wants to go. Would love to have seen a little bit more upside today, but it's through resistance. The stock is probably going to continue to march higher. Let's see here. Duncan. Dunkin' Donuts, nice short in there. Stock falls back. Yeah, I would like Dunkin' in here, and I'd like it on that buy signal. So you've got a little bit of almost a cup and handle formation right there with the stock getting through that horizontal resistance there. And you can see major support here, which is also resistance at 43.72. So if you get a little bit of a bump higher tomorrow and it gets above that 43.72 level, I think you get in there and you can use that entry point as your stop. I would imagine the stock will continue to grind higher. Again, retail restaurant, like the sectors right now. People have got some extra money because gas prices are low. I think they buy their donut and their cup of coffee. Jason, why doesn't it give you a signal to get out? Again, I talked a little bit about that. I'm expecting you to bring that to the table. Use your own position management, set your targets, use short-term exponential moving averages, 5-day moving average, and use that to get out and take profits. I don't include it because it'll bog the system down and it'll stop working. Plain and simple. The more complicated you make a system, the more complicated you make a rule base, the less likely it is to work long term. This system is clean, it's easy, it's simple. There are many, many variables that go into it and it adapts, but I'm going to keep it just the way it is working really well. WDC, really nice short up in here. And there's our stop working in our favor. So we get long, but we get stopped out right away. But this has turned out to be a nice short, and the stock has not been able to bounce. And you've got a failed breakout right there. So if I were short, guess where my stop is? Right there. If we can get back above that breakout, you got to be out because it came down, tested it. Now it's moving back above it. You've got a strong uptrend. Easy. Take your profits. Get out there. Okay, yes, and if you could please stop adding symbols, that would be great so I can get through these. We have RCL, which was also highlighted on this gap up and that up arrow there in the last webinar. Those of you who are on board made some nice money. Big. Currently on a sell signal on that, by the way, which we were short, we were stopped. If we come back below that point, it's going to re-enter that short position, and that would be your stop anyway. You don't want to have this, you don't want to be short when it's making a new high. And you'll see the system give short signals up at these highs, and they tend to be very, very good. I do like trading them. Big lots. Retailer, you know how I feel about the space. Like that horizontal breakout. Currently on a sell signal though, so I wouldn't be too excited about it. I'm not overall super gung-ho on bottom fishing right now, but it is in the right sector. So I'd have to say on that one, CYTK, biotech. So that's probably, that's one of the biotechs we've done well on. I mean, the system's on a buy right here at the $4.50 level. It's at $7.50 right now, so I can't tell you to get in here. That train's left the station. But back to my point about me putting together scans and searches for low price stocks that fit our search criteria and are on a buy signal, that would be one. Oof, that'd be a beautiful one. Let's see here. Hershey's, HSY. We've only got a few more to get through here. Hopefully along the way here, you're finding some nice trading opportunities and writing down some symbols that look interesting to you. Hershey's is currently on a sell, and we stopped out. So it's out of the trade. Stock did rally up today. If we fall back below this point, it will short it again. Hershey's tends not to make huge sudden moves like this, so it may be a bit overextended. So I would have to say I'd favor it more on the short side than the long side myself. SMCI. Currently was long here and stopped here. So that was a nice long. Again, some position management, and you do fine on the trade. So you get long, it falls back below here. You could stop out right there and pocket some money on it. But right now we're stopped out on that trade. Let's see. What do blue and arrow and green arrows mean? Oh, that's a great question. So a red arrow means we go short. A blue arrow means we stopped. And sometimes when you get down on the very edge Do you see that green arrow flickering down at the bottom there? There was a buy signal right on that green arrow, which talk about a nice buy. But the edges of the platform obscure that sometimes. But in any case, so you get short here. When you see a green arrow after a red arrow, it means that we covered the short and we went long, otherwise known as a pivot. So we get long there, and then we stop out on the blue arrow. So here you see red, blue. We're short, stop. Short, stop. Now it shifts to a long position. We go long, we stop. Long, stop. So this stock has been very, very choppy. We've been in and out of these signals, and there's not a lot of pace to the stock. I will say that I did have a bit of an issue back in November, which is kind of in here, which some of these in and out stops will be resolved. We'll see less of those in the future. Let me go back, and actually that concludes all of the symbol requests. What I'd like to do is go back and answer any questions that you might have on the overall platform. But for right now, I just want to go back over and talk about the yearly subscription for those of you who joined late. All of my focus in 2015 is going to be the 3,000 symbol subscription and the annual subscribers. Yes, you can subscribe to it on a quarterly basis. I might even discontinue the monthly basis. I'm really looking for people who want to dive in, understand, learn the system, learn how to trade it. So this gives you access to the platform that we've been looking at. It gives you access to the scanner that we used earlier tonight. It gives you access to the scanner plus the system where the two are used in combination with one another. It allows you to use all the 3,000 symbols and to create your own watch lists. You can go in and create your automated trading systems off of your own watch list so that you can technically go in and create a list of 10, 15, 20 stocks that you like to trade and automatically have those stocks execute in your Interactive Brokers account. Or you can trade options on them if you'd rather leverage your capital. So you get all that with the yearly subscription. I will continue to offer individual symbols through the website. That will be my gateway product, and I hope that everyone, once they have experience with some of the different symbol groups, decides that they want to graduate and get all of the symbols. So this will be my focus, and some of the things that I'm going to be doing in the platform this year. I'm considering adding a chat room, only be for 3,000 symbol subscribers, and I will monitor it from time to time. I don't plan on being active in it, but I feel that at that higher level, there are going to be some very serious traders in there who like to swap ideas and communicate with each other. I'm going to be building out a series of videos so that you can see whether you're a small price stock trader, or you're an option trader, or you're a day trader, or you're a credit spreader. I'm going to try and show you how to use the system and the platform for those specific needs. 3,000 symbol subscribers also get a video each week where I go through and I actually do trades, real trades, and I show you what I was looking at, why I like that particular trade. And if you just followed the videos over the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks, just those trades alone have done very, very well. So those are some of the things I plan on adding. Candlestick charting I'm going to be adding in the next probably 3 or 4 weeks or so. So lots of changes and updates to the platform. That's where all of my focus is going to be in the future. Right now, the annual subscription is $3,500 per year. As soon as this webinar ends, I'm going to be lowering that price to $2,500. That's going to be available through Sunday. So after Sunday, I'm going to ratchet it up $100. After that, I'm going to move it up another $100, and then the promo is done. I like to start every year off with my best deal of the year. And this is this $2,500 per year for everything that you've seen tonight. It's going to be the best price that you see all year. So I hope you take advantage of it. And as I continue to add and build things into the platform, as I continue to enhance the system and add new features to it, this price will only go up. So you'll be locking in at a very good rate. So I hope you take advantage of that. And again, if you're watching a recorded version of tonight's webinar, go back. I urge you to take a look at every one of the stocks that I highlighted and see how the trades have fared, and then sign up for your subscription. So for the recorded portion of tonight's presentation, I'd like to thank all of you for joining the webinar, and I will be doing another one in 2 weeks, and I hope to see you then. For the rest of you, please stay on board while I render this recording.